The 1967 Terrorism Act. Legalizing apartheid's brutality, a man is dragged from his home in the middle of the night. He is accused of being a terrorist, but there is no trial, no evidence presented, no defense allowed. His family searches for answers, but the government gives none. Days pass, then months, and he is never seen again. This was the horrifying reality of the 1967 Terrorism Act, a law that gave apartheid authorities unlimited power to detain and torture political activists. The Terrorism Act of 1967 was one of the most oppressive laws enacted under apartheid, designed to crush anti-government resistance. Signed into law by Prime Minister John Vorster of the National Party, it gave the state sweeping powers to detain individuals indefinitely without trial. But what did this law entail, and how did it contribute to the brutal repression of political dissent? The 1967 Terrorism Act was framed as a measure to combat terrorism, but its true purpose was to silence opposition to apartheid. It allowed authorities to target anyone they deemed a threat, without the need for legal proceedings. Key provisions of the law included: authorities could arrest and detain individuals indefinitely without bringing them to court. Interrogations often involved extreme physical and psychological abuse, with no legal oversight. Detainees were often held in secret locations, leaving their families in the dark about their whereabouts. Authorities could declare past actions as terrorism, arresting individuals for deeds committed before the law even existed. The consequences of the Terrorism Act were devastating. Many activists, including Steve Biko, were killed while in police custody, with authorities fabricating causes of death. Organizations like the African National Congress, ANC, and Pan-Africanist Congress, PAC, suffered significant losses as leaders were imprisoned, tortured, or forced into exile. The law was so broad and vague that anyone expressing anti-apartheid views risked being detained as a terrorist. Reports of abuse under this law intensified international pressure on South Africa, leading to further sanctions and diplomatic isolation. Despite the extreme repression, the resistance continued. The Black consciousness movement, student uprisings, and underground activists found ways to fight back. The brutality of the Terrorism Act only fueled greater opposition to apartheid, eventually contributing to the regime's downfall. The Terrorism Act remained in effect until the late 1980s, when apartheid began to unravel. Even today, its legacy is a reminder of how governments can use fear to justify oppression. What can we learn from history to prevent the misuse of anti-terror laws today? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button and subscribe for more historical breakdowns.